Welcome to another Jarvis video in the Jarvis video series. Happy Friday. So what we're going to be going over today is the reclaim structure. Um, what that is with Jarvis and how it synthesizes the market, right? You don't zoom out. You literally got to zoom in, which is kind of a little bit strange, right? Because normally you will see traders zoom the chart out. They pick their specific, liquidity points or entry points or PD array points, and they try to front run the market. With Jarvis, that's not what it is. You don't want to front run the market. What you want to do though is try to follow the breadcrumbs of price. So what you see on the screen here is what we consider the market structure factory strategy. It's a mouthful, but basically it's literally having Jarvis go through every single candle, and that candle builds structure. So imagine you going to a factory plant, and the factory plant creates these candles, and the creator of these candles are market makers. Okay, and they put all of these little blocks together, and they're building it, and they're putting it on a conveyor belt. And you, as a trader, you now have to analyze every candle that comes on that conveyor belt. But market makers will put certain blocks on the conveyor belt that will be an indicator to other market makers to let them know that something is coming, right? And you, as a trader, you have to try to decipher all of that. But with Jarvis in tow, a lot of that, um, analyzing the actual candle structure and stuff like that is already happening within Jarvis. So this is going to be a cool video. I'm going to try not to make it too long, but I wanted to give you guys a good introduction on it. So let's begin here. So so here we have a buy come up. Okay, now let me pause it here. These buys will rarely come around, but when they do, you really got to pay attention. Number one, this is a buy signal with a momentum. This is a Jarvis trade profile badge. These badges that come up that let you know what type of structure you're actually interacting with. When you see this, this is momentum. This is a momentum. Okay. Um, and it tells you right here C2. This label is being analyzed by the Jarvis trade profile intelligence, right? So it'll either print a C2, C3, A1, or A2. Those are your entry points into the structure. So Jarvis is already telling you, boom, right from the door, it's telling you this is a momentum structure being built out currently. And it's C2 you should enter. Now, what you should do is when you see that, obviously it's exciting, right? Even for me, I'm excited because, being one of the developers on this software, we rarely see this. So when this comes up, it's like, whoa, it's a big deal. But what you have to do is step back is look at the TDS, tempo, drift, state. The tempo is slow. The drift is ahead, which is good. That means that the structure is still trying to catch up to price. So price is leading the structure, which is good. But the state is pullback. So that already should tell you, this might not be a good idea to try to enter at C2. So let me zoom in a little bit so you get into this a little bit better. All right, better. So where you would enter, right? It's a long, okay? Because look at the stats. These are immature stats, okay? But it is what it is. It's a key A. So this is it. This is a key A is the strongest type of key fingerprint on a structure that you can get when it comes to the journaling that Jarvis does. So it's a key A, all right. It only has one sample, but it had 100% win rate. And look at the additional R's on this, 3.58 R, which means the journaling sampling configurations for Jarvis is 1 R. So technically, it's saying This sample, not only did it hit 1R, it went an additional 3.58R before signal flip, or when, the next signal came about. So the other thing to look at is it's a buy, right? And the bias is B plus, meaning it's in a bullish environment. So it's a buy in a bullish environment. Like, whoa, okay, cool. The next thing is it's an A 100%. This is EMX, right? This is basically a matrix it's an environment matrix that lets you know when these signals are firing, because all of it's statistics, right? When these signals are firing, where is it firing, and when it hits a TP, where is it getting the TP? This is where the value is for. It's not for losses. It's for wins. Where do these wins happen? So on this specific signal for key A, it did extremely well when it was aligned, which you see here. Aligned means that the buy is happening in a bullish environment. The sell is happening in a bearish environment. That's what alignment means. So it's aligned. So everything is looking very good for this. Now again, I'm breaking this down in the most slowest fashion, but as you start to get an understanding of Jarvis, you're going to be lightning fast with your thought process on the HUD and what you see for you to be able to enter. So currently we have an A key, 100% win rate, 3.58R additional R's that came up on that specific key. It's a buy in a bullish environment because of the B plus, right? Um, and the EMX, which is basically the environmental matrix, is saying it got the 100% in when the high time frame aligned with the actual signal. But the one line you have to look at is row D, where it deals with TDS. And TDS has slow, ahead, and pullback. Lastly, H1. See that H1? That's very good too. That means that the participation at confirmation latch, which means when this signal came and this C2 printed, there was participation alignment. So I mean, literally, this is a fuel, type of structure. But the reason why you would not enter at C2 is because of this TDS. TDS tells you though that yes, there's fuel here, but it's coming out slow and there's a pullback. So when you're ready to enter, and you should enter on this, okay? If I was to see this, I would enter because this rarely comes. This is not something that comes. There's a lot of intelligence in Jarvis before this thing can print. It goes through a lot of filters first, right? So you would do a long, and where you would snap, you would not snap on the close here. You would not snap on this open. You would not snap on the close of this signal either. Where you would snap is either here, which is about 75% below towards open, or at open. So to keep it, a little safe, so you don't go way to the open, because the market may not go back to the open, I would snap it here. Okay. Then you bring your stop loss down to the swing point. And when it comes to these swing points, I wouldn't go directly on the wick. Give it a little bit of space like that. Okay. Then you would come up to, again, 1 to 1.5R. This is a momentum trade. I'm going to go 1.5, right? And keep it like that. So we'll expand it across. Let's play this through. Now what you're waiting for is a tap in. Now when a tap in comes in, you want to at least be able for your trade to pick up between the max, it should be between 8 to 10 candles, okay? If you can get it by the 10th candle, you're good. Um, Maybe if you want to squeeze one more candle in, maybe 11 candles, but you know that you shouldn't wait too long because there's going to be something called where the idea be, starts to decay, right? The structure is building dynamically and it's building with an idea. After some time, if it doesn't do what it needs to do, that idea will start to decay. And what you don't want to do is getting into an idea that's decaying, because that's when you get more stomp outs. You may get some zombie trades where you get stomped out, and a continuation happens on that structure. So you want to get in between 8 to 8 to 10 um, candles, bars. Your limit should pick up. Now, the reason why also I did a limit, and why you would do a limit here, is because of this pullback. This tells you that this is not fully all fire engines going. You didn't see runner risk here. This tempo was not fast or blitz. It was slow. So that means it's gonna go up a little bit and come back down. So you're better off getting better pricing with limit. Okay. So there's that. So let's continue to play this through. All right, here we go. So there's a sell here. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is bad. These are structure issues. That's what this means, structure issues. Even though this was a key E with a 100% win rate, this particular setup had bad structure. Secondly, it's a key E, which is the lowest grade of structure grade. Not saying that it can't get TPs, because as you can see here, the one sample that came up actually had a TP, had a win, but the structure is weak. Um, so we'll continue with this one. Okay. So now, as you can see here, uh, pause it here. So the first structure, which we consider structure one, was a momentum. That's why C2 printed. Structure two, we believe, is like, you would call it a fake out structure. This is a structure that's just trying to look for liquidity, and then once it finds liquidity, it moves on and continues on the original idea. So this structure here, structure three, is the continuation of the original idea of structure one. So that terminology is RS, which is called reclaimed structure. That's what that means, reclaimed structure. It means that even though this structure here, right, if you look at it, it's still an A key structure. And guess what? Look at that. It had a win rate for one sample of 100%, so it win. But look at the R's, no additional R's. It just hit the one T, it hit the one R, and that was it. It's still a buy in a bullish environment. See that? So this is still a line, and this is where this comes from. A line is 100%. That means that when it hit in alignment. So this structure is actually in the same flow as its predecessor, its sample that it found. But look at the difference of setup here, right? It says blitz. It no, at first it was ahead. Obviously, I played through a little bit. Now it's saying it's lagging, and I'll get to that in a minute. But let's look at the tempo and the state. It was blitz and runner risk. This structure has blitz and runner risk. This structure was slow and pullback. So you see that? So it comes in, it dips, and go. So low energy. This was not a structure issue. A structure issue is just saying this has low energy. DNA said it was unstable. It was environment led, which is pretty good, meaning that it's a blitz, it's a runner risk, it's environment led, and it's also persistent. When you see stuff like persistent, it means it's a grinder, right? When it means that it's going to work. It's going to be churning a bit. Um, Secondly, on the sample, look at the average duration. The average duration to get to TP was 6 bars. This is the reason why it's saying it's lagging now, right? Because if you look at it, it always counts after confirmation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now 6 bars has happened and we still haven't hit TP. That's why Jarvis is saying, this drift is starting to lag. But don't worry about it. Okay? Let's play it. Let's continue to play it through. There you go. See that? There's your TP for this buy signal. There was no TP for the first structure, but that's okay, because this structure, structure 3, was a continuation of the idea from structure one. So I hope this video helped you. Because if you look at this, guys, right? Let's zoom it out. This is how normally traders would probably look into trying to get into a specific um, entry, right? They will zoom out and try to front run. But with Jarvis and how this is designed now, you literally zoom in, like you zoom all the way in. You get in there, right? Because Jarvis is analyzing every single candle and is connecting the dots. And when it connects those dots and it creates the structure, it gives you a full analytical work through of that structure, and then you can decide what you want to do. So that's the video here. The video is reclaim structure. That's basically what that is. Um, and as you can see here too, this printed in A1, right? So this wasn't a C2. This wasn't a momentum. This wasn't a momentum trade. It was a low energy trade, a low energy structure, that is. And yeah, so that there it is. So that's the video for today. Um, the Jarvis is available on TradingView. There is a 48-hour test flight you can take, where you can take Jarvis and take it for a spin, see what it is, see how it works out for you. Um, but it's exciting times are coming for this indicator, what we call protocol, and more videos to come. Thanks.